What is going on, guys? Snap3, you're doing another video, and welcome back to another episode of Umineko When They Cry. In the last episode, Canon died, which is very sad. Like, we're dropping like flies here, and the survivors decided to hide in Kinzo's study, where everyone learned about Kinzo's past with Beatrice, and how Beatrice was a real person that died, and that's kind of why Kinzo resorted to black magic and being a creepy old man. Yeah, and the fact that he was married to someone else too is really creepy, but oh well. I'm happy that we can all smile now after last episode where we beat the shit out of Maria.
ベアトリーチェとおじい様の間に子供がいたなんて話はある。
That's a possible 19th culprit theory, but I don't believe that. The keyword Beatrice has been hidden in every corner of this case, so it's natural to suspect some relative of hers.
いえ、そのような話は聞いたことがありません。
仮にいたとしたら、最愛の人の忘れがたみとして。きっとすべての愛情を注ぎ込んだだろうね。
What are you talking about? He doesn't give a fuck. He said you were trash. He said Battler was a disgrace. Jessica is trash. Maria is a disappointment, and you suck. So yeah.
それがなく、黒魔術に
Don't
没
even
頭してい
start
っ
trying to
たなら、
defend that.
子供はいなかったと考えるべきなのかな。
Yeah, I agree.
そういえば、こんな噂を聞いたことがあるぜ。知ってるだろ？じい様が福音の家っていう孤児院に莫大な援助をしてるって話。
Oh yeah, that's where he picked his furniture from.
よしなさい。それはお父様を冒涜する中傷に過ぎません。
Oh my god, Natsui, please don't start now.
教えてくれよ。隠し事はなしなのはおばさんもだと思うっすよ。
Yeah, I agree.
くだらない話です。お父様はその施設に莫大な援助をし。社会勉強の一環として、使用人雇用枠を開放していました。それをお父様に汚らわしい趣味があると吹聴する愚か者がいたというだけの話です。
一時期それが黒魔術の生贄にするためだ。
Well, I mean, a lot of people have worked for the Ushima family, so it's possible. But that's really that's like Sonozaki lore right there.
その福音の家出身の使用人ってのは
They were Shannon and Canon.
何人かいますが。
Yeah. No, Sayo and
中のシ
Canon.
フトでは。
Wasn't that her name? At least I think. Yeah. Yeah, no, I put that in one of my YouTube descriptions. To resurrect Beatrice, he brought in servants from an orphanage as human sacrifices.
確かにじい様が使用人として選ぶのはいつもシャノンやカノン君くらいの若い子ばかり。私だってじい様には妙な趣味があるに違いないって信じてたぜ。
ジェシカ、言葉を慎みなさい。
Oh my god. Can you stop harping on every time Jessica tries to contribute to the conversation? When Natsu scolded her, the atmosphere instantly went sour and everyone felt quiet. However, something was tugging at the back of my mind. Sacrifices. Sacrifices. Epitaph sacrifices. Hold up, where is it? Okay. Yeah, last time we kinda did gouge the chest and kill, so now we're on the stomach, knee, leg, and then the witch shall revive, and none will be left alive, and then everyone will reach the golden land that's alive. Human sacrifices brought over from an oh my, what is it? Freaky words like sacrifices. Yeah, no shit. And yet I've seen or heard that word recently. Some part of my memory is tugging at me. Hey, Beatrice. What do you know? I had arrived in front of the portrait of Beatrice. I wasn't as massive as the one in the entrance hall, but that portrait, which must have been drawn by some famous painter, was still just as intimidating in this smaller size. Below it, just like the entrance hall, was the epitaph that supposedly hinted at the location of the hidden gold.
生贄だ。
なんだよバトラー、急に気持ち悪いこと言うなよ。
生贄を6人。
He finally caught up with my theories. Both my eyes were as wide as plates. Everything's been predicted right here from the very beginning. Everyone crowded around, and the same expression of shock rose to all of our faces. That's right. It's right there in the epitaph. I've been pointing this out. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen as keys as sacrifices.
間違いない。最初に死んだのは6人だ。そしてシャッターに書かれた魔法陣じゃねえ、ヘブライ語でも生贄を捧げると書いてあった。
私は最初からそう言ってる。
For once, I agree with Maria. From kind of being an idiot. That's right, Maria said it right at the start. Right after we found the 6 bodies, when Maria was in the parlor watching TV, she said it. Ooh, the culprit isn't human. It's just the sacrifices chosen by the key.
これは黄金の隠し場所なんかじゃねえ。黒魔術か何かの復活の儀式の手順なんだ。確かこの碑文には大勢の死が必要になるはず。
確かにざっと読むだけでも 6+2+5 で
That's, quick maths. 13.
13人は死ななくちゃならないことになってるぜ。
普段はこの島には何人いるんですか？
18. And there is 5 of you. No, there's 8. There's 8 here. So 5 of you are gonna
使用人
survive.
のシフトにもよるでしょうが、お父様、夫に、私にジェシカ、そして使用人が2、3人。
Okay,
昨日今日
so
は5人いてもらってますが、普段はそこまでいません。
ってことはだ、この儀式を実行しようとしたら普段じゃ生贄が足らない。いや、じい様は福音の家から不気味な儀式の生贄にするために使用人を取ったという噂。
つまりなんだよ、生贄の人数を増やすために使用人を増やし、さらに人数が集まる年に一度の親族
I
会議を
mean, yeah, it's plot
この
convenient.
儀式を執り行える年にたった一度唯一のタイミングだったってことじゃねえか。
When Jessica screamed this, Maria broke out in the creepy laugh, looking truly pleased.
人は運気を試すためにある種の確率に願掛けをすることがない？
Like throwing a sando and saying that if it lands right side up, tomorrow will be sunny. Or saying that tomorrow will be a good day if a coin lands heads up. There are many little superstitions like that. Sometimes when luck is down and you get bored, you roll the dice and get 3 6s. You want to believe it's portent of some miracle. When flipping a sando, you have at worst a 50% chance. Even if you get it right side up, it's not worth much. But if you carelessly roll 3 dice and they all come up 6, you might think that's a small miracle.
魔術にもそういう考え、限りなくありえない出目を期待してひたすらに祈祷を続ける。そうして蓄えられた祈祷の念は奇跡の出目が現れた時、魔力を持って具現化される。おじい様がしようとした魔術は多分そういう鍵が無作為に選ぶ生贄の抽選。
We saw that scene.
そ
He
れに
did
万が
this.
一自分が当たることがないように、この島に最も人が多くなる日を選んで儀式を実行。
バカバカしい。これらが全て怪しげな魔法の儀式の過程で起こった事件だと言い出すのですか？
Yeah, like even if like witches aren't behind this, that part is true. Natsui yelled. She couldn't quell the fear that a scorpion charm might be the only reason she was still safe. If I hadn't received that charm from Jessica and hung it from my doorknob, would I have been killed mixed along with those? You probably would have. And the strangest part, even though I hung the charm from the inside of my door, they couldn't get through the... Natsui's thoughts. The culprit noticed the charm from outside the door and gave up trying to open it. A human couldn't have perceived that. A charm meant to stop something that was not human had done exactly that. Impossible, impossible, impossible.
だが夏日さん、確かに碑文の内容はその後をなぞっとる。
第二の晩に残されし者は寄り添う二人を、これはエヴァ様たちのことを指しているのでしょうか？
悔しいけどそうだと判断せざるを得ない。そして母さんたちを殺した犯人は続く第三の晩の言葉を手紙に書き、そう
だな。第2の晩を実行し第3の晩をその場に残した。第3の晩はまさにさっき夏日おばさんが読んだ通りだぜ。
On the third twilight, those who remain shall praise my noble name. If you read it this way, it just keeps going on, doesn't it? On the fourth twilight, gouge the head and kill. Gouge the head and kill. George and Nikki's parents were killed with those demon ice pick scouts. Yeah, But if they were the second Twilight, someone else must have been gouged in the... That was...
焼却炉の中で焼かれてたからそっちに目がいっちまって気づかなかったかじい様の眉間にいや頭をえぐられてた
I did not think of it like that. I thought that was a repeat.
第4の晩のじゃあカノン君は
第5の晩に胸をえぐりて殺せ
He was the fifth Twilight victim.
犯人との突発的な遭遇に
Guys, I already thought of this like an episode ago. You're a little behind.
一人をおびき出し胸を貫くことを初めから狙っていたんだ
もし犯人がこれをなぞっているとしたらまた3人が死ななければならないというのですか
Three people still have to die. And the sixth Twilight gouged his stomach. Yup, oh, yup. I know what's happening. We still have 3 more sacrifices.
確かにそう読み取れますけど
いやそいつはどうかなあと3人が死ねば第9の晩に見てみろよ
The witch shall revive and none shall be left alive. Oh, I think everyone...
私たちは
Yeah.
ベアトリーチェに
It's not as simple as sacrificing part of the group. Trust me, I would have suggested sacrificing people a while ago if that was the case.
じい様は何が目的だったんだこの儀式じゃじい様自身何をどうしたって生き残れねえじゃないか
誰も生き残れなくていいんだよ第10の晩には黄金鏡にたどり着く
On the 10th Twilight, at the journey's end, you shall attain the power of the Golden Land's treasures once and for the last time. The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures.
おじい様は死を恐れてなほら4つの宝の2番と3番を見てごらんよ
一つは全ての死者の魂を蘇る一つは失った愛すらも蘇らせるつまりおじい様は自分がこの儀式の途中で死んでしまってもやがては復活できると信じてた
バカバカしいぜ妄言だぜ死んだらそれまでだろ死者は生き返らない人類が何千年もかけて追い求め結局は未だに成し遂げられない奇跡だぜつまりこういうことだろ死後の世界で再会できて蘇ることができるとかそういう類だろ
ジェシカの言い分通りだとするならこいつはつまり老い先短いじい様が恋に狂っての自殺まがい
Oh.
いや壮大な無理心中ってことなのか
Hold up. That's dark, but true.
ケンジその可能性は考えられる
わかりません親方様は時に1000年の未来を見越されるほどの聡明なお方です
That's overstatement.
もう異様な私にはそれが狂気としか映らないこともあります
それってイエスって意味だよな熊沢さんはどうなんだよ
私は何も知りません知っていたなら今日この島にいると思い
Yeah,
ま
I
す
think you did. I think you're also the one who stabbed Buchanan.
仮病でも何でも使ってお休みしていますよ
おじい様の長年の友人である南條先生のご意見は
Suspicion has fallen.
源氏さんに同じです金蔵さんは凡人をはるかに超越した方だった
I really think that one of them's lying.
そこにある種の人間離れした
頼み君
力すらも感じることはありました私にも金蔵さんが何を考えてこの碑文を残されたのかわからない
一つだけ言えるのは仮にこの筋書きを作ったのがお父様であっても
確かに少なくともじい様とカノン君を襲った犯人は他にいるしかもそいつはこの碑文通りまだ事件を続けようとしている
僕たちが深く考えなかった最初の手紙あれにはなんて書いてあっただろう
Oh yeah, the really important letter that everyone stopped caring about once people started dying. Beatrice had proclaimed something inside it. She proclaimed that according to her contacts with Kinzo, she would collect everything of the Ushiromiya family as interest. But when she had also revealed a special clause, not received. If someone discovered the location of the gold grandfather had hidden, that right would be lost. When the letter was read, grandfather was still alive. But at the time, it would have been sealed with wax by the head string. which meant grandfather had handed the ring over to Beatrice while he was still alive. If we take a straightforward approach, maybe we should assume Beatrice... Oh, I did not mean to skip that sit. My hand was kind of just resting over his face. In other words, that there was the same as saying grandfather knew in the approved contents of that letter. In other words, it's basically a joint message from Beatrice and grandfather, telling us that Beatrice will start collecting interest if we don't solve the riddle. In other words, grandfather and Beatrice were demanding that we try and solve the riddle of the epitaph, and if we couldn't, they were saying that this massacre would be carried out according to the epitaph. What does that mean? What do they want? I don't have a clue what it means.
ほら、ベアトリーチェからまた手紙だよ。
なんだって？
Please, oh my, there's another letter that Maria found. Oh my god, why? Less than an envelope from Beatrice certainly was something there, but so what? I naturally let out a hysterical cry. How has no one noticed this? Because the envelope she had opened was still grasped in her hand. So why is there an envelope on the table?
なんだよ、どういうことだよ、マリア。その封筒はどこから出てきたんだ。
She pulled it out of her
今見
bag.
たら置いてあった。
私は何も知りませんよ。何も。
冗談じゃねえ。ここには俺たち8人9人目がこっそり忍び込んでいたなんてことも、俺たちがちょいと肖像画の前に集まっていたわずかの隙しかないんだぞ。
The culprit is in this room. Quick, Natsui, use your gun.
全員下がりなさい。
Haha, yeah.
壁へ下がりなさい。
Okay, well, this is definitely going in the worst possible direction, even though I just suggested it. Natsu was pointing the rifle at Genji and the others, bellowing at them. Genji's son was overpowered, his face looking like he didn't have a clue what was going on. Of course, I felt the same, but a few moments late, I reached the same conclusion Aunt Natsui had. Until just a few seconds ago, there had been no letter like this on the table, and nobody entered the room. And that means someone among us placed it there during the few seconds when everyone looked over. Holy fuck!
バトラ君、この封筒を開けて中身を読んで。
I picked it up. It was still sealed with the wax. Even without distributing its contents, I realized that this was as yet an unopened envelope, an unknown envelope. Without relying on a paper knife, I tore it open and pulled out the letter inside. The contents were as follows.
金蔵様の碑文の謎をお楽しみいただいているでしょう。すでにご存知と思いますが、皆様方にはどうか嵐が過ぎ去れば逃げ出すことができるというこのゲームには、私と皆様方のどちらが時間切れは私の勝ちとなる。引き分けはありません。そこをどうか誤解なきよう。
Yeah, we probably should be trying to solve the epitaph.
この手紙を誰が置いたかは明
I
白ではあ
wonder
りま
if
せん。
she's actually gonna pull the
です
trigger.
が、疑わしき人物を絞ることはできました。あなたたちです。
それはあんまりにございます。
私は肖像画の前に行く直前、ここに缶詰を置きました。その時、このような怪しげな手紙は決して置かれていなかったことを確認しています。そしてその時、すでにジェシカとジョージ君、マトラ君は肖像画の前にいた。
And plus, we're the
そして
kids.
彼
It
らは
couldn't be us.
この手紙が現れるまで肖像画の前を離れていない。つまりあなたたち4人の中にその手がベアトリーチェがいる。
おお、ベアトリーチェはマリア、ベアトリーチェはいる
お黙りなさい。あなたたちの中の一人が疑わしいのか、
Oh, yes, he worded
全
it.
員が疑わしいのか分かりません。
At least I thought that's what the sound was.
確実にあなたたちの中に犯人が混じっている。
そうだ、19人目なんかいるわけが、魔女なんかいるわけがないんだ。カノン君を殺したのだって。そうさ、熊沢さんなら説明できるよ。
Yeah, Jessica, I agree with that.
熊沢さんは本当はカノン君と一緒にボイラー室に入り殺す。そして後から来たらもう倒れていたと嘘をついた。
誤解です、お嬢様。私がなぜそのような
Unless
こ
you
と
took
を。
10 minutes to get down the stairs.
母さんたちをどうやってあの密室で殺したのかは。でも母さんたちが殺された時、使用人の人たちなかったのは使用人の人たちだけ。でも本当に疑ってもいいんだろうか。
確かにそれを言い出したら全ての件でアリバイはないが、
Should we really be so quick to make that judgment? But this time, in this room, in this place, in this moment, in this minimal small bit of time and space, it's obvious. Only one of the 4 of them could have set the letter in their blind spot. We can't tell who put it there, but it's obvious that one of the 4 did it.
夏井さん、どうか落ち着きなさい。今日一日心が参っているのはよくわかります。
南條先生をお疑い申し上げるのは非常に心苦しいですが、お父様の主治医として唯一無二のベアトリーチェのことも知っているかもしれない。何かの古いしがらみを知っていて隠しているのではあります。
そんなはずはな。落ち着きなさい。
No, it's beyond that. It was pitiful to watch Dr. Nanzo frantically pleading his innocence. It was probably a normal reaction that anyone would give if they were suspected. Kumasawa was the same. Ever since Jessica voiced her suspicion of Kumasawa murdering Ken, and Kumasawa had been totally flustered. That was why Genji's still calm appearance looked so bold, naturally pointing the barrel of the gun.
Genji, あなたはお父様の一番の部下です。ベアトリーチェとはあなたがお父様に見せた幻想だ。あなたこそがその実行者だったのでは。
そうお疑いいただけるのはこのような場ではありますが。
It's him.
しかし、
It's him.
この手紙を
I refuse to believe that he's not involved with this.
それを私が鵜呑みにできるとお前が首謀者に決まっています。あるいは熊沢も南條先生もその共犯かもしれない。マリアちゃんもです。
Not content to suspect just the adults, naturally pointing the gun relentlessly at Maria too, but Maria acted as though nothing had happened. Or maybe she thought she would be fine even if she was sad.
マリアちゃん、今この場ではもう幼いから疑いの枠からだから誰もが昨夜からずっと持ってきた疑問を昨日バラ庭園であなたに手紙を渡したベアトリーチェは誰ですか。マリア、ごまかすんじゃねえぜ。この際はっきりさせ。お前に手紙を渡したのは誰なんだよ。
だから何度も言ってる。ベアトリーチェだよ。1000年を生きる黄金の魔女なんだよ。姿を知りたければ後ろを振り返ればいい。ほらそこにいるよ、ベアトリーチェが。
バカにしてんのかてめえ。
よせジェシカ、マリアもよせ。状況が分かってんのか。そんなこと言って何になるってんだ。無意味な挑発はよしやがるってんだ。
マリアには分かんないよ。バトラたちは誰が犯人ならいいの。自分たちの中に犯人がいると信じたくない時だけ、親しい人を殺された恨みを晴らしたい時だけ、暴力をぶつけられる人間の犯人を信じたがってベアトリーチェを否定する。だから見えないんだよ。ベアトリーチェはいる。お前たちには見えない。
黙りなさい。あなたが犯人だと決めつけたくはありませんが、この状況を不愉快にさせて楽しんでいる利的行為者であることはもはや疑いの余地も。な
らどうするの。マリアを撃つ。別にいいよ。もうすぐ黄金鏡の扉が開かれる。そして全ての死者がよみがえる。
Oh. Yeah, no, she's crazy.
母さん、やっぱりこいつは一緒になんかいられないよ。
でも夏日おばさん、どうか落ち着いて。
I'm with Jessica on this one.
マリアちゃんを撃つ理由は何もない。どうか冷静に。手紙は挑発するけど何も恐れることはない。犯人だって明日が怖いんだ。警察が怖いんだ。この島は今無秩序に支配されているけれど、それは台風で隔離さ。台風が過ぎれば秩序が戻っ。だからおばさん、撃っちゃいけない。
I agree that she shouldn't shoot, but she should definitely kick them out.
この4人の中に犯人がいる。いや、あるいは4人が全員この中にエヴァおばさんたちを殺した犯人がいるかもしれないってのに、なんでそんなに。僕だって犯人を見つけて殺してやりたい。でもそれは単なる蛮行だ。僕は罪の裁きを秩序に任せる。だからどんなに疑わしくても引き金を引いてはいけないんだ。
ジョージの兄貴に夏日おばさん、ここはちょいとレース。とにかく撃つのはまずいぜ。こういう時はよ、頭を後ろに反らしてクールになれって3回唱えるといいらしいぜ。
はっきりさせておきます。魔女などいない。ここは六軒島で、ここは後宮家の本家屋敷で、後宮家代表後宮夏日として宣言します。ここには魔女などいない。ベアトリーチェなど認めない。何を企もうとも娘たちには指一本触れさせない。 それが母としての当家代表としての務めです。
Those words were the final words of farewell that settled everything. To protect her daughter, Aunt Natsui would regard any suspicious person as an enemy. The only reason Joe and I were standing on this side was because, by coincidence, we had a clear alibi regarding the letter. If I hadn't approached the portrait, I would also be at the other hand of the gun barrel, treated like a criminal. But even though part of me thought that, part of me was thinking that chasing all the suspicious people from this room would finally guarantee her safety. Genji-san, Kumasawa-san, and Dr. Nanzo, all of them were on grandfather's side. Maybe you could say that once Maria started blindly believing in Beatrice, she was also on grandfather's side. That's right, they're all suspicious. But is this really okay? If we throw out all the suspicious ones in such a lawless way, will we still have the right to defy the lawlessness of the witch? They're not allowed to be at the cool kids table anymore. They have to get kicked out. Aunt Natsui didn't tell them to leave with her own words, but with the word was precious, she induced them to say that themselves. Because if Dr. Nanzo didn't say those words, this cold silence would continue forever.
落ち着きなさい、夏日さん。だが気持ちはよくわかる。わしだって今朝からの異常な事件続きで頭がどうかなってしまいそうだ。だからわしらを疑いたい気持ちもよくわかる。
もし本当に南條先生が無関係なら、私は無礼極まりないことをしているんですか。今だけは分かってください。
分かった。わしらは部屋を出ましょう。どうですかな、源氏さん。客間に戻ってチェスの続きといきませんかな。
それをお望みでしたらぜひ。
私は嫌だって。この中に狼がいると分かってて部屋から追い出されてしまうんです。嫌ですよ、奥様。どうかお許しください。
It was obvious like Kumasawa-san was trying to say, if she was innocent then she was being injected into dangerous territory along with the culprit. In the current situation, urging her to leave this room along with the suspects was almost exactly the same as letting her get killed. However, Kumasawa-san was really suspicious just for... Yeah, no, not just that. You, were in the same room. There was no way you didn't stab him. At that time, everyone except Kumasawa-san had an alibi. Unless we could prove the existence of some contraption or the existence of some 19th person, Kumasawa-san was by far the most likely suspect. It didn't want to believe it. However, Aunt Natsu and the rest of us were in such a difficult situation that we couldn't help suspecting her as well. So we didn't say anything to stop Aunt Natsu from trying to oppressively chase them from the room. We had stopped her from shooting, but we were passively agreeing to chase the others out of the room. On top of that, Maria spoke to the fretful Kumasawa-san.
大丈夫だよ。ベアトリーチェは敬う人には優しい。熊沢さんはベアトリーチェがいるって信じてるもん。だからきっと大丈夫だよ。マリアは客間でテレビを見るよ。一緒に見ようよ。ここテレビがなくてつまんないもん。
It looked like Kumasawa found Maria's raucous laugh very frightening. However, the three other people had agreed to leave the room. Kumasawa couldn't fight with the flow and had to agree, crying as he went. Goodbye, suspicious people.
それでは夏日さん、今夜はこれで。また明日お会いしましょう。
今夜だけは分かってください。警察が来たら全員に今夜のこの無礼を必ず。チェスもよろしいでしょうか。できたら安全なところに。源氏、頼みます。
かしこまりました。
仕方ありませんね。子連れの熊が一番恐ろしいと言いますから。
源氏も熊沢もまた明日お会いしましょう。マリアちゃんも冷たいおばさんをどうか。
マリアは許
奥様、この2本すべてをお預けします。
Genji-san pulled 2 golden keys from his pocket and then handed them to Aunt Natsui.
それから私が持っているお屋敷の
Took out a bundle about 10 keys in various safes and handed it over. To the servants, those keys were probably proof of their possession. Being placed in charge of those keys meant they were trusted, relied upon. When they were forced to return them, it meant that they had lost that trust. Thinking about it this way, to Genji-san, who had worked here for a span of many years, there could be no greater shame. However, Genji-san's usual indifferent expression remained on his face.
源氏、私はお前を お父様がお亡くなりになったら長年の苦労をねぎらって退職を許すつもりでいましたのに、このような死、私は
Oh my god, stop getting so emotional after it. There's a murderer
私は
among
親方
us.
様より今日までの日々はそれに対するご恩返しの日々であった。どうかお気にやまれません。
それでは参りますか。おやすみなさい。
おやすみ。マトラもおやすみ。
あ、マリア、ちょっと待て。
Knowledge of guilt made me call Maria back. I grabbed around my pocket and took out that. He did still have it!
これ魔除けなんだろ。身につけとけ。
おお、バトラ、確か落としてなくしたって。
あん時はなんか尺になってなくしたとか、ほらお前の大切なお守りをなくすわけねえだろ。
Even though she's absolutely out of her mind, they're still friends. Maria-san took the term. I was unable to say anything after that.
それでは皆様おやすみなさいませ。
We watched them leave, her expressions completely worn out, and we weren't even able to respond. Ah, yes, it was a successful night for everyone here involved. What are we gonna do now? Until the door closed, we heard the auto lock, we were unable to breathe. Then, we were finally allowed to take a breath. After that, I noticed that Beatrice's letter, which I had been gripping the whole time and which was soaked in my soaked in my sweat, actually had 2 seats. The paper had been tightly stuck together, so mistakenly thought it was 1. There was no characters on the second seat. The thing drawn there was a magic circle written with red ink like the blood. Just like how every magic circle up until then has been different. This magic circle was one that had never laid eyes on before. It's a Hyrule symbol! Oh my god. Inside the circle, a large triangle and a small triangle were fit together in a simple design. Just as before, they were written in Hebrew, and it seemed clear that it held some kind of meaning. I wanted to know what it could be, but we had just chased Maria, the only person who could understand the meaning of the magic circles, out of the room. I thought of this magic circle as Beatrice's second message. What does this magic circle mean? Damn it. After chasing out other suspicious people, all we had to do was stay barricaded here until morning, and everything would probably be over. Once the typhoon had passed, when the seagulls cry, will everything be resolved? But the letter, which had unexpectedly appeared in the study, forced us to reject that nativity. It made very clear that if time ran out, it would mean the witch's victory. When time runs out, is the witch planning to take on the offensive? This time, is he planning to display some fearful magical power, maybe something that could have been used to kill 6 adults at once? Wait. When is this time supposed to run out anyway? I don't know. Anything. I feel so bad for Natsue. See, okay, so first off, her husband treats her like shit, and then Open was just like, I hid something really important to you, and then after that, Eva treats her like shit. And now she's like the only one left who has to like do this. Even as though she said it, Aunt Natsui couldn't stop gripping that rifle. There was no reason in the tension of her expression. Of course, none of us felt like breathing a sigh of relief. At least not until we could hear the cry of the seagulls once more. Yup, gunshot. Oh, and the clock still glitched out. Either that or it's doing the zoom on purpose. Oh, it's gonna reach midnight. Oh, it's so close to midnight. Okay, I definitely think we're nearing something. Oh my god. This is getting intense. After we chased them out, nobody wanted to say anything. All of the suspicious ones had been driven away. Even though we knew there might be some innocence among them, we still did it. We chased them out of this paradise, where people don't have to suspect each other, but our motive for chasing them out was suspicious of one person towards another, the worst kind of crime for a human. If we had accepted the existence of a 19th person, of the wits, then we all might still be talking face to face, trusting in each other. In that instant, we had all agreed to chase out all the suspicious people. But had that been the right thing to do? During this endless silence, we could do nothing but quietly be tormented by that sin. Aunt Natsui faced the door without letting go of her rifle for even an instant, sitting far back in the sofa. She would probably spend the night staring at the door without a wink of sleep. George and Nikki gazed through a gasp in the closed curtains by the window, looking down at the courtyard and the mansion that surrounded it. I didn't know whether he was checking to see if a suspicious shadow would become visible through the window, or whether he was wondering to himself about something. Jessica was sitting sideways on the sofa next to Aunt Natsui with a dead expression on her face, and every once in a while, as she thought she just remembered something, she'd take out the inhaler she had used during the asthma attack and stick it in her mouth. I just heard it from Nikki. But apparently Jessica liked Canon-kun. It was apparently so vague that she hadn't realized it herself. You know, it's the kind of thing other people tend to spot before the person in question realizes it, which means she might have first learned of her feelings when the person she liked died. It must have been so terrible, so sad. Come think of it, Canon-kun was the one who handed her that inhaler. Maybe she was remembering that. I was fishing around Grandfather's study thinking I'd researched the meaning of magic circles on the letter's second seat. Even though we were set up in a defensive position, my rebellious nature made me want to find some key, some way to resist. After all, we've got plenty of time before tomorrow morning. Who could fault me for how I used that time? No one else showed that much interest in this magic circle. Its meaning was unknown, and once we understood it, we were sure to find the message that would cause us unnecessary anguish. I felt the same way. However, I could just ignore it, so I killed time by going through the motions of researching it.
熱心だね。何か手がかりになるようなことは見つけられたかい？
さっぱりさ。そもそも日本語で書かれた本を探すことからして、じい様は一体何カ国語を読め大したもんだぜ。
バトラ君は眠くないの？誰かが起きていてくれてるうちに休んだ方がいいよ。夏日おばさんは寝ず番をしてくれると言ってるけど、ローテーションで休んだ方がいいよ。
Yeah, that's what I suggested last episode.
じゃあ兄貴が先に。俺は眠気が来るまでちょいと調べ物をしてるさ。
さっきの魔法陣？
うん。どうせ時間は腐るほどあるさ。ベアトリーチェ様がどういうメッセージを込めやがったのか。
よせよ。そういうのやってると妙なのに取りつかれちまうぜ。
That's true.
安心しろよ。俺はマリアにお墨付きをもらってるぜ。俺には霊的才能は活気しなんだとよ。
Okay, so sorry for the weird cut here, but I decided, you know what? Let's finish the episode today. I was going to leave it off there, but I realized 1, it's a short episode, and 2, we are very close to the end, so I am going to continue playing. I'm sorry about the weird cut again. This is a separate day. I'm recording this on at least.
ジェシカ、今はそれを考えてはなりません。
No, you were perfectly justified.
もしもマリアが無関係で犯人が他にいたなら、犯人は襲いやすい相手を狙うに決まってる。それで殺されたなら、私たちは見殺しにしたことになるよ。
She can't because she has the charm. A gloomy silence settled once again. It looked like Jessica regretted letting her emotions take hold of her and snapping at Maria. She's always been like that, always acting tough and regretting it later.
気持ちはわかりますが、マリアは犯人と接触し、こともあろうか、その肩を持つように煙に巻く発言を繰り返しています。私はこの部屋から追い出せて清々しています。
夏日おばさんって結構9歳の女の子のザレ言かもしれないじゃないっすか。
It probably wasn't very convincing to hear that coming from me. I myself thought that Maria was creepy on several occasions, even doubting her true nature. And when Maria was chased out of the room, I couldn't deny I'd felt some relief.
もしそうだったなら、明日謝罪します。
If you're alive.
彼らをこの部屋から追い出したのは、すべて私の責任です。
You should probably be trying to solve the epitaph right now, because that's the only way to save anyone. I could feel a tragic determination in Aunt Natsui's words. To protect her own daughter, she had resolutely chased out the suspicious ones. And if, as a result, she had to watch the people who had unfortunately been suspected die, so be it. She is prepared to take full responsibility.
なんでマリアってあんなことばかり言うんだよ。自分で自分の首を絞めてるぜ。
もともと マリアちゃんが魔女や魔法に傾倒するようになった。僕はローザおばさんのせいじゃないかと思って。
ローザおばさんのせい？何がどう関係してるってんだよ。
バトラ君だって気づいてるんじゃないかい？マリアちゃんの本当の父親は随分昔に蒸発してる。
Oh yes, he's probably like trying to cast a spell to
おば
bring
さん
him
はそれ
back.
を
Oh
海
no,
外出張とか言っ
it's the
て
golden.
ごまかしているけどね。
That's what she said. She said that she would reunite with her father in the Golden Land. Ah, that makes
後
sense.
宮家ではローザさんたちに関わる話はタブーとされているところがあります。
おばさんは再婚だって考えたと思うよ。でもマリアちゃんの存在が枷になって非常に難しかったんじゃないかと思うんだ。だっておばさんは時折ものすごく感情的にマリアちゃんに当たっていたから。
それについては同感だぜ。ローザおばさんはマリアを好きになろうと努力してるように見えた。ってことはつまり好きじゃないってことなんだよな。
Oh, that's even
再婚の
sadder.
妨げになっているマリアに思うところがあったんだろうよ。
母親の感情的な拒絶がきっと彼女の幼い心に深い傷を残した
Probably
と
why she
思うん
looks
だ。
up to Beatrice so
そして
much.
どこかでオカルト趣味と出会い心の隙間を埋めるように没頭していく。
Either that or
知っ
she's
てる
just
かい？
crazy.
マリアちゃんにとって魔女のイメージは決してネガティブなものじゃない。ほら昨日海岸でマリアちゃんのノートを見せてもらわなかったかい？
ああ、なんだか楽しそうな落書きでいっぱいだったぜ。
Yesterday, when we were down by the beach doubting the witch, Maria got all riled up and started explaining about witches. And not one of the pages had shown a picture of an ugly witch. They were all brightly colored, beautiful, cute witches who looked like they were having fun. There was absolutely nothing sinister about them, like a boy might have imagined. They were beings adored with beautiful dresses who could grant anyone's dreams with their mysterious magic and who made everyone happy. Yeah, but people were dead. The sorrow of not being loved by her mother had Maria sought help from witches as beings who could give her happiness and save her. Someday, a witch would come, and using her wonderful magics would bring Maria happiness. Even though she believed that, as she grew older, she had to face her reality as her fleeting dreams were sliced to ribbons one by one. If something claiming to be the witch of Rokenzima appeared in front of a girl like that, whispering that she'd take Maria to the Golden Land where Maria could be happy.
僕は今頃になって胸中を告白するよ。マリアちゃんを。いや。
Yeah, I was about to say, like, this is like, oh, I feel bad for Maria about the servants.
いけないことだったんじゃないかな。
気まずくはあるぜ。
Since Jessica had been the one to face them and swam them with the words of rejection, her conscience must be tormenting her a lot right now.
なら皆さんはあの手紙を私の後ろにいた4人以外の誰にも置くことはできなかった。
Let's flip the chessboard.
それは私がこの目ではっきり確認しています。あの4人が潔白だというならどうやってこの密室の8人もの人間がいる中で手紙を置けたというの。
そうなんだよ。その話が始まっちまうと確かに4人は怪しいってことになっちまう。だが全然ダメなんだ。ああ、全然ダメだ。
That's his catchphrase at this point.
ダメって何がだい？
ああ、もう今さら何の役にも立たないかもしれない。
Yeah, he's doing it again.
つまり
Oh my god. My emotions about this chessboard range from yeah to oh my god, put it down. You're clearly breaking rules right now. Like you don't play chess by taking your opponent's board and just spinning it around.
あんなテーブルの上に堂々と置いたらこの中に犯人がいますよと告白。そうだよ、おかしい。やるなら例えば扉の隙間に置いて廊下側から差し込まれたように見せかけるとか。そうだよ、部屋の外に犯人がいるように見せかけなきゃ自分が疑われてしまうことが分かってたはず。
What if they were trying to lead? Oh fuck! Ah.
そういうことなんだ。
You guys should probably go check on everyone else. I mean, doesn't that seem like an obvious way to kill someone to make them fight and weed people out?
あの4人の中に犯人がいたとしテーブルのど真ん中に手紙をポンと置くことはリスクばかりで何の意味もないんだ。だがどうやってそこに手紙を置いたか。あの4人以外の誰か、すなわちこの部屋の外に犯人がいたと仮定したあの手紙には 大きな意味が生まれる。
よしなさい、バトラ君。今さら些細な問題です。
No, tell him to stop putting the chessboard, stop spinning the chessboard. Like, he keeps doing it. He doesn't learn anything new, it just confuses him.
この部屋の外に犯
It
人がい
worked
て、
like for the first conversation
俺た
about
ち
the
が外
first
からは手
murder,
出しも
but
できない密室に
after
立てこもっ
that,
ちまったら
then
お
like
手上げ
it
だ。
just confuses him more.
ああ、そうだよ。この部屋からじいさまがいなくなったって話の時、俺が披露した説じゃねえか。じいさまが自分から出ていくという説。自分から出ていくような何かの細工を犯人がしてまんまと外へおびき出していたのだとしたら。
Come to think of it, when we found the scorpion magic circle on the doorknob to the study, Maria said it herself. Beatrice couldn't get through this door, but she could induce someone to leave of their own accord.
だとすると、私たちは犯人の罠に見事ハマって新しい生贄候補を送り出しちまったことになるぜ。
Yeah, go check
現
downstairs
地たちも
now.
バカではありません。身を守ろうと思うなら、この部屋の次に安全な場所をすぐそこできっと身を潜めています。
Still, Aunt Natsui hadn't answered the question. Aunt Natsui herself had realized that if the culprit wasn't in her group back then, that letter would make sense as a trap. However, it wasn't worth the risk of calling back the people she had once thrown out. To Aunt Natsui right now, her greatest and only duty was to protect the children. By her thinking, in order to do that, a few sacrifices were unavoidable.
なあ、夏きついこと聞くぜ。もしあの時たまたまジェシカもおばさんの後ろにいたなら、おばさんはこの部屋からジェシカも追い出してたかい？確かに残酷なところはあったかもしれない。でも夏日おばさんは母として娘を守りきろうと思った。その責務から自分がやがては糾弾されることを覚悟で彼らを追放。俺は別にそれを責めてえわけじゃねえ。ただそのジェシカはいいお袋を持ったなってそう思った。
そうだね。夏日おばさんは朝からずっと続いているこんな事件の中でも冷静さを失わずずっと
Yeah,
み
no,
んなを
Natsu
牽
has
引して
really
きてくれ
been
た。
like the key to the amount of people that have survived. Like, there's still how many people are left? Characters 4, 5, 6, 7. There's still 8 people left, which I know that's not good if you count the original 18 as a total, but like that's still decent.
もしおばさんまで混乱していたら僕たちは今頃全員犯人の手にかかっていたかもしれない。だから僕たちはおばさんに感謝しなくちゃいけないと思う。
ありがと
う。バトラたちの言いたいことはマリアの母でもあってほしいって。私マリアのことを実の妹みたいだとずっと思って可愛がってきた。なのにいろんなことがあってちょっと混乱しちゃって。母さんお願いだよ。マリアも
Yeah, let's at least try and find
みんな
Maria.
も私たちの中に犯人なんていなかったんだよ。この事件の犯人は魔女のベアトリーチェでいいじゃないか。
Oh,
だから
yeah, I would just think that she thinks a witch did it. Same with George.
疑い合うのはやめようよ。
Aunt Natsui closed her eyes for a short while. Was she coping with her throbbing headache again, or was he thinking of something?
ジェシカは主人と結婚してから12年もかけてようやく授かった。
Yeah, and those 12 years sucked.
私はジェシカを守るためならどのような鬼にでもなります。
That was pretty strong language at the end there. She realized very well that her words were an idealized view of what a mother should be, but even so, she was strongly resolved to protect her daughter, even if she had to become a demon. But that was her guilty consciousness tormenting her. Today's been so long. So many things happened in one day, and we've been driven into a corner so thoroughly. I wonder if we have the right to greet tomorrow the way we are now. There it is.
見つけた。この魔法陣だ。
Inside the book I had been flipping through, I had found the same magic circle that had been drawn on the second sheet of the letter. George and Nikki peered at it as well. The magic circle's name was the Third Magic Circle of Mers. The Hebrew written on it was from Psalm 77. 7 me looks at 77 and says 700. Verse 13 of the Old Testament. What god is so great as our God? The meaning of the magic circle was discord. Discord! Agitate internal divisions and cause the enemy to bring about their own downfall.
おいおい、マジかよ。
Could there be a more fitting way to describe our current situation than their mental state? We couldn't help but be stunned into silence.
じゃあこの手紙は罠だってのかよ。
Yeah,
どうやってここに置いたんだよ。
probably through the window.
私たち8人以外には誰もいなかったんだぜ。
Yeah, no, I definitely believe that the windows, that there's some way for someone to, like, do something through them.
とにかくどうやってここに置いたのか。とにかくこの鉄壁の書斎に疑心暗鬼を引き起こして生贄の羊を俺たちの手で外へ放り出させることだったんだ。
だとしたら狙いは外へ出された人たちだ。
母さん、どうしよう。あの4人が危ない。
It wasn't surprising that Natsui remained unpleasantly silent. Even if Rizzo were trapped by the culprit, even if the four had been chased out of the room were in danger, it had nothing to do with the safety of the four people in here. And there was no way to prove the innocence of the four people we chased out. If we were willing to let them die, then we shouldn't leave this room no matter what. That way is safest. What? Wait. The phone lines are... Did Genji fix them? It was the antiquing Sanction phone set on the table in Grandfather's study. It had rung right after we started talking about the letter being a trap. It was not so we'd think of it as an SOS from the ones we chased out. But then Aunt Natsui spoke.
どうして電話が故障していて使えないはずなの？
Yeah, like, what if they
そん
fix
なこ
it?
とは関係ねえ。もしマリアたちが助けを求める電話だったら。
そもそも電話の普通が犯人の工作によるもののこの電話。おそらく。
Oh no. Without one sense something in the phone, which had once sounded like a scream for help now started to sound like a ghastly word from some unknown person. Aunt Natsui hesitated over whether to pick up the receiver.
トロ、おばさん。
Yeah,
何かの理由
what
で
can they do?
電話が
Poison you
回
through
復
a
したのかも。
telephone?
マリアちゃんたちからの緊急の電話の可能性もある。
そうだぜ。それに万一犯人からの電話だったら話を聞いてやろうじゃねえか。それにどうせ電話だ。受話器越しに何をほざいたって痛くも痒くもないぜ。
おばさんが取らないなら俺が取るぜ。
私が取ります。もしもし。
I stretched out my hand to take the receiver, but Aunt Natsui grabbed it before I could reach. We all held our breath trying to figure out at least putting on speaker. But for a while, Aunt Natsui kept saying hello. A silent phone call? There's no way Maria and the others would do something so creepy. Which means... Could this phone call, oh yeah, possibly, really be... Natsui stopped repeating hello and strained her ears, because she thought she heard something far away on the other end of the receiver. What was that? What's happening? Someone being stabbed?
歌？
What?
歌って何ですか、おばさん。
わかりません。電話の向こうでかすかに。
Oh.
誰かが歌っているのが聞こえます。何のことやら。
ちょっと受話器を借りますぜ。もしもし。
I half forced the receiver from the stunned Aunt Natsui's hand and pressed it against my ear. At first I didn't hear anything, but because I had been told about beforehand, I noticed. It sounded far away from the receiver, rather than someone speaking in a quiet voice, and it sounded like a girl singing a song. That voice did sound like Maria's, but that just made the situation even more inexplicable. At the very least, the one who made the phone call hadn't been Maria. After all, Maria was singing some song. That's creepy! And yet they weren't saying anything. Oh my god. Come on. Come on, gang. Let's split up and search for clues. Enough waiting around. Let's go find it out.
誰だ、返事をしろ。歌ってるのはマリアなのか。返事をしてくれ。
何が起こってどういうことだ。
わからねえ。一つ言えることは、多分これは罠で、そしてマリアが危険だってことだ。
Aunt Natsui took the receiver again, but after yelling into it several more times, she realized that she wasn't getting anywhere and hung up. After that, she dialed quickly. Then she clicked her tongue. That's right, if the phones were working, we should be able to reach it. Yeah, but judging by Aunt Natsui's reaction, the outside telephone line still didn't connect.
罠かもしれないことは分かってても。
ああ、まったくだぜ。ジェシカと夏井おばさんはここにいてくれ。
When Aneki and I tried to dash out, Natsui stopped us.
お待ちなさい。あなたたちだけに行かせるわけに私も行きます。ジェシカはここで待ちなさい。
私だけのけ者かよ。冗談じゃない。
Yeah, that's safer.
そうだな。
Yeah.
電話が俺たちをさらに分散させる狙いがあるってんなら
議論する暇も惜しい。みんなで行こう。
Natsui raised the rifle high and took the lead. I couldn't go unarmed myself. I found a 3-pronged candle stand and readied it. Although the pins on it, everyone's getting ready for battle. Higurashi Daybreak Umineko confirmed. Then the four of us left the study. We left the study, which would have been the safest place inside the mansion. By doing so, we had been lured out, even though we barricaded ourselves in a safe, closed room. Perhaps we were doing exactly the same thing Grandfather had done when he disappeared from the room. I listened closely, but I didn't hear anything. The mansion was vast, and since the passing typhoon was making its last stand, it sounded the last stand. Oh my god.
マリアちゃんは確か客までテレビを見開花に降りてみよう。
Yeah.
そうですね。行ってみましょう。みんなは周りに用心して。
Yeah, they possibly could have set traps or something. Without Natsui's in the center, her rifle readied and her finger on the trigger, we moved in a group, our backs together, checking our surroundings in all directions. It was just as though the magic of that magic circle designed it to spread discord had worked. We had split up and furthermore been dragged out into dangerous territory. In other words, even now, we were doing just what the culprit wanted us to. This was a separate world where it wouldn't be odd for anything to suddenly occur. Natsui nervously pointed the barrel of the gun at every dark spot inside out. It felt like the motion was out of fear rather than caution. But the rifle she held in her hand seemed been a trump card that the culprit feared.
僕はずっと思ってたんだ。カノン君のように胸にあのアイスピックを突き刺すことは不可能ではないと思う。でも母さんたちのように頭蓋骨を打ち抜いて眉間に
犯人はそれだけバカ力ってことか。
多分あのアイスピックを飛ばす、あるいは打ち込む人力だけであれだけ深々と衝突するにはあの絵は短すぎる。
いずれにせよ頭蓋骨を打ち抜くカノンの傷も肺にまで届いていたそうです。もし相手の姿を見ても決して私の後ろから出てはいけませんよ。
Just how sinister and frightening was the weapon that could shoot those creepy ice picks. And could I do anything to combat it with just this candle stand in my hand? In the first murder, the culprit probably assaulted all four of her parents at once as they discussed the inheritance problem in the dining hall. And there were four of us here now. Apparently, I was the only person thinking this. George and Nikki, Jessica, and of course Aunt Natsui. We were stretching their senses. Oh my god. Maria, are you alive? What have we done? Because of the seeds of doubt spread by that one writer, we threw Maria and the rest into the middle of this terrifying road. We finally reached the first floor. The parlor was just across the hall. Come on. No time to stop. When we listened carefully, we could hear it faintly. Maria's... Oh, I hear it faintly too! She wasn't singing naturally as though she was in a good mood. She was singing mechanically like she was in a graduation ceremony and had been ordered to. The song she sang was just a common folk song, one that everyone probably sung in school. That's scary. Right after leaving the study, we called out in a loud voice asking Maria where she was, but this time no one even said a single word. We hid our breath at the sound of her footsteps and intensely focused on our surroundings to the point of being completely high-strung. We stepped forward. The door of the parlor was closed. Oh my... Natsui put her hand on the handle of the doorknob. When George and Nikki stopped her...
扉は僕が開ける。夏日おばさんとバトラ君は武器を構えてて。
わかりました。気をつけて。
開けると同時に攻撃ジョージ兄さん注意して。
うん。じゃあ行くよ。
He tried to open it, but immediately felt the hard resistance of the lock. Natsui took the bundle of keys from her pocket and gave them to George. There was about 10 keys, and none of us had a clue which was which. Because of this, George had to fumble around loudly and test several of the keys. Since we had hidden our footsteps preparing to make a surprise attack on the room, this felt almost fatal. The whole time we could hear Maria's voice from the parlor singing the same song over and over. It was like a broken, crazy cassette tape. We'd been in that room almost constantly since morning. All the frightening things had occurred outside that room. That I left us with the impression that only this room was safe. That baseless impression was quickly falling apart.
開いた。
ありがとう。ジョージ君とジェシカは後ろに下がって。
おばさん、一気に飛び込んで左右に分かれよう。 扉を開けてボサッとしたら例のアイスピッ
Yeah,
クが
that's a
ど
good
真ん中
idea.
に飛んでくるかも。
承知しています。いいですか？
やっぱ嫌だって言いてえな。
I readied myself. If they were gonna be throwing ice picks, I'll whack him with this candle stand.
行きます。
Aunt Natsu and I remained at the door before flying into the power, quickly splitting up and right, searching for the power for someone who might be waiting for us. But what our eyes laid upon, was an incredible, strange sight. Oh! The power was stained with blood. This place where we spent. Did she? Oh my god, she did. On the floor like Genji sound. Oh no. But the only way we could identify them was to buy their clothes. That was because, that's right, this is the whole tragedy started. Their faces, just like our smashed up parents in the said. You couldn't tell where their eyes stopped and their nose. Oh my. Oh my. Holy fuck! And that wasn't all. Their bodies had other wounds. It was those demon ice picks. They were in Genji-san's stomach. His knee. Oh, yep, that's the knee. That's the gouge, the knee. Oh my god, and now everyone is dead except for the cousins and Natsu. Oh my. Wait, then who's the... Okay, then the culprit clearly had to fake their death. In the epitaph, the 6th trial was the stomach and the 7th trial was the knee. So after seeing one of them stuck near Kumasawa Batsan's calf, so I could... That's right. One of the 6th trial I gouged the stomach and kill. On the 7th trial I gouged the knee and kill, and on the 8th trial I gouged the leg and kill. Now even the 8th twilight is over. And the next one, the 9th twilight, what was it again? Maria was there. Oh. What the... This child is a demon, okay! She was facing the wall in the inner part of the room, sitting stock completely alone. She faced away from the harbor scene, standing by the wall, singing her song. Oh my, does she know what happened? Did she do it? Did she get possessed? Just the corpses of the 3 who had been brutally killed in the front of the seat, which was still up its hook, proving that this was the room the call had come from. Just that, Maria her back to the scene, kept singing and faced the wall. We couldn't even scream at this because we can't only stare and shock with our mouths hanging loosely open. Jessica called out to her, but Maria showed no reaction. Alone, she kept singing on and on. We had come to her, trying to save Maria from some approaching danger. So now that we had found her, we would have been running up to Maria, hugging her, joyous that she was safe. And yet, none of us could do that. Everyone thought, but they couldn't say it. After all, because that's right, even if it's crazy, no, it couldn't be. At some point, Aunt Natsu and I had pointed our weapons at Maria's back. I yelled at Maria in a violent voice, but there was no reaction. She just kept singing. With the candles still readied, I ran up to her and forcefully, violently slammed my hand down on her shoulder. Then I pulled her shoulder, forcing her to turn around. Maria's small body was quickly pulled down and fell. As though unhappy at having her singing interrupted, Maria looked at my face with her usual expression. Even in this gruesome situation...
Maria, これはどういって誰がやった？
おお、ベアトリーチェ。
いい加減にしろ。
You... Did she watch it and then just... Oh, but Maria's expression didn't change at all.
よすんだバトラ君。マリアちゃん、今度こそ君は3人を殺す犯人の顔を見。犯人は君に手紙を渡したというベアトリーチェ。
おお、ベアトリーチェ。
ああ、ならこれで19人目はいるんだよ。ベアトリーチェは実在するんだ。
I mean, unless someone faked their death, then yeah.
じゃあマリア、これくらいは教えてくれるやつは。この3人をどうやって何をどうやったらあんなむごい殺し方ができるんだ。
知らない。
知らねえってことはねえだ。この部屋での出来事だぞ。歌を歌うのに夢中で気づかなかったとか言い出すんじゃねえだろうな。
落ち着いてバトラ君。マリアちゃん、僕とおはね。
George Zeniki, as he always did, crouched down next to Maria so that her eyes met and talked to her very kindly.
マリアちゃんはどうして壁を向いてお歌を？
ベアトリーチェがここでね、
じゃあベアトリーチェがその時にはまだ源氏さんたちは生きていたんだよね。
うん、みんなで客間に来て座ってた。
They said they were going to a safe
源氏さんはちゃんと
room.
鍵をかけてたよ。
確かに鍵はかかってたが、じゃあどうやってベアトリーチェは客間に
The
入ってきたんだ
windows?
よ。
Check if there's masked
で
windows.
もベアトリーチェは魔女だから長者になって扉の隙間から通り抜けてきたんだよ。
はあ、冗談も休み休み、そんなわけねえだろ。
Oh,
信じられないよね。だから言いたくなかった。どうせ言っても信じないの。
wait, she had the charm, didn't she? I think that's the only
で
reason
も
why
ベア
she's
ト
still
リ
alive.
ーチェは不思議な魔法で何でもできるの。
Was it really magic?
だからベアトリ
Like,
ー
I
チェ
mean,
は
I spent this
鍵のか
entire
かった扉
playthrough
なん
so
か
far
全
trying to
然
say
関
that
係ないん
there
だよ。
was no magic, but unless someone faked to their death.
現れたベアトリーチェは、そしてみんなはどうしたの？
ベアトリーチェは言ったよ。おじい様の書斎は強力な力に守られていてどうしても。だからあと3人の生贄はこの客間の4人がみんな嫌だって言ったよ。熊沢さんは嫌だってす。でもベアトリーチェは、そしたらね、ベアトリーチェはマリアはいい。どうしてだと思う？バトラがマリアの安全を祈って念を込めてくれた。あの火星の5の魔法陣のサソリのお守りがあったからだ。だからその力でベアトリーチェは私にだけは何もできなかった。
The thing is, we kinda have
だ
to
から生
believe
贄は
her.
マリアじゃない。そしたらね、ベアトリーチェはね、
さあさあ、壁に向かってあなたはたくさんお歌を歌うから、何が起こっても何が聞こえても、さあさあ楽しいお歌をわらわに
だからマリアはずっとだから何も聞こえないわ。そしたらバトラたちがやってきて、
それを信じろってのか？バカにするんじゃねえぜ。
じゃあ今度は誰を疑う？マリアを疑う？マリアをこの場で殺してみる。そんなことしてもベアトリーチェはいな。これで第8の番は終わったよ。ベアトリー
ふざけんな。もうそんな話は金輪。魔女なんているもんか。煙に巻かれてたまるか。俺は認めねえぞ。ベアトリーチェなんていいね。絶対に俺が認める。だから存在なんかさせねえ。蘇りもさせねえ。伝説は永遠に伝説。この俺がそんなことを認めね
よせよバトラ。マリアが殺したわけでも見殺しにしたわけでもない。
Yeah, I don't think
ベ
Maria
アトリー
killed
チェが
them.
来てマリアは抵抗できず従わざるを得な
I
かっただけだ
definitely,
ぜ。
I mean, a culprit definitely could have done that.
あれ、夏日おばさん、おばさんがいない。
What?
あれ、
What?
母さん
Oh no.
どこ行った？さっき手紙を読みながら一人で出てい
Oh,
った
letter?
よ。
That makes sense. The culprit must be. They must have left a letter so they could brag even. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. It's the same trap again. But even as well, Embassy was right. Oh my god, what an idiot. Jessica tried to chase after her and tugged at the handle to the door, but wouldn't open. What? She locked the door? What if she was the culprit? Oh my. She barricade. Oh, what is she doing? Is she gonna like burn everyone in the room? Or did she like. What is she doing? Please. For once in this playthrough, I'm gonna say, show us someone besides Bado's point of view. Was he the killer? Oh, it's the portrait. Natsui's figure was alone in the entrance hall. It was the place decorated by the portrait of Beatrice. Natsui threw down Beatrice's last letter and the one she had read in the pillar. Ready to rifle again, the voice that rang clear yelled in the massive space that was in the end.
Ushiromiya家代表Ushiromiya夏日です。姿を見せなさい。
Oh,
黄金の魔女
she's gonna.
ベアトリーチェ。
The entrance hall was dimly lit. Other than a faint light which had shone in the center of the room, everything was bottled up by the jet black darkness. Oh, she's here in that darkness. Butterflies could. How can I deny this? I want to argue on Baru's behalf, and I don't know. I was thinking about doing that for the retrospective once I finished the chapter, but
ようやく姿を現しあなたのような存在が本当に存在したのって私は未だ信じることでもそれは問題ではありません。後宮家の代表であると自負する私と後宮家の当主を引き継いだと自称するあなたがあなたが本当に魔女なのかどうかは今となっては些細な問題です。さあ決着をつけましょう。後宮家を真に引き継ぐ者はどちらか。この後宮夏彦あなたベアトリーチェかあなたの決闘の申し出謹んでお引き受けさせていただきます。
Oh, I hear that. That's the noise that was before the death. Oh my god, this is bad, this is bad. We gotta get to the room. The gold butterfly slowly formed a human shape which walked in the dim light. Natsu ready to rifle and glared. The witch raised her golden staff. She's actually in the room! Wait, no, we don't see her. Is she really in the room? Okay. Badaru made no dash at the door and rammed it, crushing the candlestand that had been blaring to make it possible for the big gap. He kept kicking the candlestand through the gap and the door was finally released. Okay, so Natsui saw it. Is she alive? The time they heard it. They certainly heard the crisp sound of the gunfire ring at once.
Jessica-chan, 一人で先走っちゃいけない。今のは銃声だぜ。夏代おばさんが撃ったんだ。
At whom? At the culprit. The noise had come from the entrance hall, and the entrance hall looked like a stage. Like the heroine of a tragedy on the ground bathed in light, made the beauty that... Oh! What the fuck?! Half crazed, Jessica ran up to Aunt Natsui, on Natsui's forehead. It was almost as though a sparkling sword of pigeon bloody... What? She got shot?! Hold up, hold up! Oh my, found shot to... Oh my... What the fuck? Okay, this is either a witch or it's gonna be like someone faked their death. I mean, I don't think it's Maria. Maria kinda like was there, but that's probably a red herring. It couldn't be any of these three. They had alibi. Who? Ugh. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my god. They kind of suspected this would happen. I mean, they're the protagonists after all. From it on stream, her blood makeup passed by her eye and began to traverse her face. The faint smell of gunpowder smoke came from the barrel. Huh? Then she shot herself in the No, she clearly... Someone was in that room. Or saw through the window.
どうしておばさんは一人で抜け出してどうして自分の額を撃ち抜いているんだよ。マリアちゃん、夏日おばさんは手紙を読んでから手紙がない。
Yeah.
そう、おばさんは何を読んでどうしてここに誘い出す。知らねえぜ、そんなことなんだよ。どうして
I don't think she killed herself. My body was consumed with anger and I didn't know what to do. I snatched the rifle from Aunt Natsui's hand. I spun around, pointing the barrel of the gun to the darkness. Oh. George and Nikki, even in this situation, was trying to calmly figure something out, but that might have been a fruitless effort. And only Maria was completely indifferent. So this is all supposed to be some kind of predetermined fate? No, that's not it. This is all a prelude to a wonderful road. The door to the Golden Land will finally open. She didn't have to die!
そして第10の晩に旅は終わり黄金の里へ至るだろう。これで全部終わったね、ベアトリー。おめでとう、おめでとう。だからマリアを導いて。
Oh my...
今こそ
There, all of the dead will be revived, and even lost will be, at least lost love will be destroyed. So in Maria's eye, it was just as though if today's tragedies didn't happen. It's as though at the time she spent deprived of her love never happened.
いい加減に。何が楽しい、何がおめでたい。この島には18人いた。14人死んだ。残りは俺たち4人だ。
Yeah.
俺は絶対に死なねえ。夜が明けるまで、いや、
台風が過ぎ去ってまた船着き場に海猫たち
By
が
the
帰
way,
っ
I
てくる
don't
まで
think we
生
can
き
do
残ってやる
anything.
生き残ってや
We
る
kinda lost. Yep.
よしなよバトラー。ベアトリーチェに銃なんて意味。それに生き残るも何ももうもう
I hate to agree, but it's kinda over.
時計を見てごらん。
Huh? The clock? Hearing those words, I looked at my wristwatch. Both units were almost touching near the top. Very soon it would be 12. Oh, in other words, the wits are alive and none will be left alive. When you think about it, it isn't 24 a strange time. It can be called 24, it can also be called 0. It's the hour of the commemoration of the previous day, and at the end of the time, it's an hour 0 as the next day begins. Maria suddenly cut out happily and ran towards the darkness. It was almost as though Beatrice was somewhere in the darkness and Maria was running up to her. As Jessica hugged her mother's corpse, as George and Nikki stood there confused, I looked down the barrel of the rifle, gazing into the darkness. The space in front of Beatrice's portrait lay in that direction, and the thing Maria was running up to was the portrait's subject. You've got to be kidding me. No, this is just impossible. We could fall for something like this. We just don't exist. I won't accept it. Something like you shouldn't exist. Because this is a human road. You think I could accept... Oh no, is he gonna shoot at the... Yeah, when I pulled her in the rifle's lever, the cartridge was ejected, fell on the floor, and a new cartridge was loaded. Then I sighted the witch down the barrel. Maria turned around. Still clinging to the golden when she turned around.
だから意味なんてない。ベアトリーチェに鉛玉なんて意味ない。バカだね人間は。
俺は魔女なんて見た。貴様は誰だ。一歩でも動いてみろ。指一本でも動かしてみ。こいつをぶち込んでやる。
Oh my god. Okay. You gonna shoot? As the witch, no, the witches laughed. Even the large clock in the hall joined in one of their laughter. It's probably telling us that the time was 24. It was both a tone telling us that we had reached the commemoration of this day, and a tone of informing us all that it returned to nothing. The rule that the witch would win when time ran out had already been
バト
revealed.
ラー、ジョージ兄ちゃんにジェシカ。旅は終わって。魔
And
女は
none shall be left
蘇
alive.
ったよ。
The witch shall praise the rise and bestow 4 treasures. One shall be the gold of the golden land, one shall be the resurrection of the dead souls, one shall be the resurrection of the love that was lost, and one shall be the put the witch to sleep for all time. Sleep peacefully, my beloved witch, Beatrice. Oh, the gunshot was actually a... God, yup. Is that the end of the episode? Or will we get to see what happened? I hear music. But I see blackness. Is that... Oh, the storm passed and the leading clouds that had astounded the land for so long cleared away. From the rifts between the clouds, sunbeams shone, and yesterday's storm seemed like a lie. Just as someone had wished, the seagulls returned to the harbor once again and let their lively cries be heard. Afterwards, the police came and he conducted an investigation of the scene. The corpses of the children, who were thought to have survived until the very end, were never found. However, because of the body parts that were discovered in their unimaginative nature of the scene, the police were forced to conclude that the chance of the survival of any of the 18, even the children, seemed hopelessly dim. Body parts? Whose body got cut up? They said that they couldn't find the kids right there. Does that... Did they... Just how gruesome was the banquet of the witch, and how beautiful was the golden land? They were the ones who got to hear that tale. No tales were told to those humans who arrived after the banquet was over. The best they could do was imagine what might have happened during those 2 days. However, the witch was fickle. She made a point at leaving behind this tale, which didn't need to be heard, it was allowed to spread. Then, many years later, a strange wine bottle that had drifted to the waves to the pier of the neighborhood island was filled. Inside was a thin, tightly wrote notebook fragment written upon crammed small letters. With this tale, through the notebook, fragment people would finally learn the truth of the mysterious and the riddle-filled 2 days period that started on October 4th. The incident was later called by many names the Rokenzima mass murders. Lovers of the occult claimed it was all the result of an immortal ceremony that had sealed on the island in those two. I can't read fast enough! However, not one of these interpretations approached the truth. Furthermore, while the notebook fragments describe the mysterious incident, it does not reveal the truth of what happened there. Perhaps even the writer didn't know the truth. According to the writer, her name was Marie. Incidentally, as a result of all that, police investigation put in Maria's body a piece of her jaw. I don't think anyone survived. The gruesome scene, there had been many body parts that couldn't be identified as belongings to any specific person, so it's probably fair that this jaw was an extremely fortunate find. Because this jaw had separated from its body to the police judge, their chances of survival would be hopelessly dim. So, let us conclude that the tale with the final section of the notebook fragment that Yoshima and Maria left behind. By the time you read this, I will probably be dead, although there may or may not be a corpse. You have read this, please find out the truth. That is my only wish. Yoshima, Maria. To this very day, the truth... That's the Higurashi thing. To this very day, the truth of the Wedge and serial murders has not been brought to light. Aw, that's sad. But body parts. Huh. First game, Wedge and the Golden Witch results. Yoshima Kraus died in the first Twilight. Rudolf died in the first Twilight. Kiri died the first Twilight. Rosa died the first Twilight. Sanin died the first Twilight. Yoda died the first Twilight. Eva died the second Twilight. Hideyoshi died the second Twilight. Kinzo died the fourth Twilight. Kanon died the fifth Twilight. Genji died the sixth. Danzo the seventh. Kumasawa 8th. What does it say about everyone else? I kind of want to see. The witch Beatrice survived in the 9th Twilight. Finally opened his door to the Golden Land. Natsui died in the 9th Twilight. Zoids missing on the 10th Twilight. After acknowledging the existence of the witch and purpose. Oh, he got invited to the Golden Land. Same with Jessica, Maria. Battler died on the 10th Twilight. Will this witch invite this man who denied her his existence to the Golden? Everyone was missing except Battler, who just flat out died. Okay. The witch who plays the lies and shall bestow fortune. Oh, that's the. George chose his lost fiance. Jessica chose the boys he liked and lost. Maria chose the lost love of her mother. Sleep peacefully, Beatrice. Let nothing disturb your slumber again. The winner of the Golden Witch, Beatrice. Time ran out before even one of the 18 people could solve the riddle of the gold. All 18 died. When the seagulls cried, none were left alive. Okay, yeah, no one survived. I find it interesting how Battler just flat out died. It was just like, everyone else survived. No, everyone else died. Missing, died. Oh my god, that was a fucking ride and a half. Oh my god, I feel so accomplished to be done with the first episode. Gunshot? Oh no, they aren't gonna do that. That'd be a cool transition to like finish it off. But that's sad. Addition. Ooh, I got an achievement. The Golden Witch has prepared a gift for you in commence of your stay. You can find these features on the title screen. Oh yeah, I heard that there was like an additional thing, kind of like the after party of Higurashi. We'll definitely have to check that out, but for now, I'm gonna end here. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. This great appreciate it. And yeah, see you guys in part 2 of Umineko When They Cry.